Hi friends. First of all, I am so sorry that our Google or our Zooms were not working today. I'm not sure what was happening, but my Chromebook was not letting me see you in the waiting room to be able to let you join the meeting. So I'm super sorry about that. We're going to try it again on Monday. I think it should work. So I've got my fingers crossed because I want to see you guys. So I will see you on Monday next week and then again to end the week on Friday. So next week I'll get to see you 2 times. First, I want to start off with all of these Superstar challenges. I have a whole pack of certificates that I am going to be getting to all of my friends that were able to complete the iReady challenge number 3 by completing at least 40 minutes of lessons. And lots of you are doing more than that. I'm so proud of how hard you're working with that. So I want you to keep doing just a little bit every day, a little bit of math, a little bit of reading lesson, and you're going to keep exercising those muscles. If you haven't done those lessons, take a little bit of time to try to do those every day. I do have a few friends who are not logging on to those lessons. So I'd like to know that you're logging on and at least trying to do a few of those lessons every day. So this week we were learning all about planting. Now, I have 2 stories that I'm going to read, and one of them is called The Tiny Seed by Eric Carle. And I have another one for you that is called The Sunflower House. So I'm going to record these in 2 different videos. First, I'm going to read The Tiny Seed, and then I will read The Sunflower House. That reminds me of those sunflowers that I have growing. And right now, even though it's snowing outside, I still have them in the window because there's a little bit of sun. So I'm going to start with The Tiny Seed by Eric Carle. And Eric Carle has written so many other great stories. We've read books that he's helped to illustrate. This one, he was the author and the illustrator. But we have Brown Bear, and Polar Bear, What Do You Hear? He was the illustrator for those books. He's very famous. The Tiny Seed. It is autumn. The strong wind is blowing. It blows flower seeds high up into the air and it carries them far across the land. One of these seeds is tiny, smaller than all the others. Will it be able to keep up with all the others? And where are they going? So notice all these seeds being carried through the air, and the season was autumn. Autumn is another word for fall. So that's when we start our school year, remember. One of those seeds flies higher than all the others. Up, up, up it goes until it flies too high and the sun's hot rays burn it up. But the tiny seed sails on with all of the others. So there's the tiny seed following along through the wind and the air, but this one got too close to those hot sun rays, so it won't grow. It's going to die. Another seed lands on a tall and icy mountain. The ice never melts there, and the seed cannot grow. The rest of the seeds fly on, but the tiny seed does not go as fast as all the others. So there's the tiny seed, not floating as fast in the wind. This one got stuck on the mountaintop. It won't grow. It won't have all of the things that it needs to grow. It doesn't have the soil there. Now they fly over the ocean. One seed falls into the water and it drowns. The others sail on in the wind, but the tiny seed does not go as high as all of the others. So there's all the other seeds high in the wind. This one's a little bit lower, and then this one right here, it drops into the water and it drowns. Drowning means it gets too much water. So remember, seeds need water, they need sun, they need dirt, and they need air, but too much of any of those things makes it so that seed won't grow. So you never want to water your plants too much. One seed drifts down into the desert. It is too hot and dry and the seed cannot grow. Now the tiny seed is flying very low, but the wind pushes it with all of the others. So there's the tiny seed. Here's the one that got stuck down in the desert. Remember, deserts are full of sand. They don't have good soil. Too hot, not enough water, so that seed's not going to grow. Now these are special plants called cactus, and those kinds of plants are made to live in the hot water or the hot weather. They don't need a lot of soil. They can grow in the sand, and they don't need a lot of water or rain to survive. These are not cactus seeds. Finally, the wind stops and the seeds fall gently down on the ground. But a bird comes by and eats one seed. The tiny seed is not eaten. It is too small for the bird. Does not see it. So here are the seeds. And here's the bird. He's got one in his beak as food, but he doesn't even notice the tiny seed. Now it is winter. After their long trip, the seeds settle down. They look just as if they're going to sleep down in the earth. The snow falls on top and covers them like a soft white blanket. A hungry mouse that lives under the ground, like they're hibernating. It lives under the ground and eats another seed for its lunch, but the tiny seed lies very still and the mouse does not even see it. So here are the other seeds that mouse has to eat while it's hibernating down underneath the ground. They're under the snow, but that tiny seed, it's right there. The mouse doesn't see it, so it's safe. Now it is spring. After a few months, the snow has melted. It is really spring. Birds fly by, the sun shines, rain falls, the seeds grow so round and full that they start to burst open a little. Now they're not seeds anymore, they're plants. First, they send roots down in the earth, and then their little stems and leaves begin to grow up towards the sun and the air. There's another plant that grows much faster than the new plants. It's a big, fat weed. And weeds take all the sunlight and the rain away from the small new plants, and then the little plant dies. The tiny seed hasn't begun to grow yet. It will be too late. Hurry! But finally it starts to grow into a small plant. So there's the tiny seed. These ones are growing up towards the sun. They've got stems and leaves and strong roots. This one was growing over here next to a weed. Weeds are like bullies. They take all of the water and all of the sun's rays and all of the soil space, and they take it away from plants. So weeds are not good for plants. We like to pull weeds out of our garden. The warm weather also brings children out to play. They too have been waiting for the sun in the springtime. One child doesn't see the plants as he runs along and, oh no, he breaks one. Now it cannot grow anymore either. So if you break the stem off, sometimes that plant won't grow back. So you have to be very careful when you're out by plants. You don't want to step on top of them or break them at the stem, because that might make the plant stop living. There's the tiny seed plant. The tiny plant that grew from the tiny seed is growing fast, but its neighbor grows even faster. Before the tiny plant has 3 leaves, the other plant has 7. And look, a bud, and now even a flower. But what is happening? First there are footsteps, then the shadow looms over, then a hand reaches down and breaks off the flower. A boy has picked the flower to give to a friend. So flowers always make people feel happy. Now it is summer, and now that tiny plant from the tiny seed is all alone. It grows on, and it doesn't stop. The sun shines on it, and the rain waters it. It even has many leaves. It grows taller and taller. It's taller than the people. It's taller than the trees. It's taller than the houses. And now a flower grows on it. People come from all over, far and near, to look at this flower. It is the tallest flower that they have ever seen. It is a giant flower. Look at that. That would be pretty cool if a tiny seed could grow that big. Now they can go pretty big. Plants can grow taller than people. They don't usually grow taller than houses though, so that part is pretend. But look at that tiny seed. All summer long, the birds and the bees and the butterflies come visiting. They've never seen such a big and beautiful flower. So they like to come for the pollen and the nectar and the food and the seeds. But now it is autumn again. So we're back to the season that started the story. The days grow shorter, the nights grow cooler, and the wind carries yellow and red leaves past the flower. Some petals drop from the giant flower, and they sail along with the bright leaves over the land and down to the ground. So the tiny seed that grew into the big flower, starting the life cycle all over again. And the wind blows harder, and now the flower has lost almost all of its petals. It sways and bends away from the wind, but the wind grows stronger and it shakes the flower. And once more, the wind shakes the flower, and this time the flower's seed pod in the center opens. And out come many tiny seeds that quickly sail far away in the wind. And that is going to start the life cycle of that seed all over again, just like the story started. And that is the end of the story called The Tiny Seed. I hope you liked it. So I'm going to end this recording now, and then I'm going to start another recording of another story about flowers that I think you'll like, and that will be how we end our week learning about the life cycle of a plant. Hope you liked it.